All right. Shalom, 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 y'all. Shalom. Good to see y'all. Michael Israel. Um, Tried to do a live earlier, but it was signal wasn't good. But I think we got a good signal now. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about a couple things. As you can see by the title of the video, dead season distractions, man. I've said it in a couple videos. Literally right after the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles, um, I noticed the distractions beginning to rise. You know what I'm saying? Even today, I know a debate was getting pushed with Sakari and Ron Dalton and all that. It was brought to my attention that um, my name was brought up in it and everything, but that was from last year. As far as that's when I was still fully doing my show and all that. So that got brought up. Uh, but that was from last year when I used to do all that. But now we putting in that kingdom work, putting in that kingdom footwork. And something I actually got a video I'm gonna be putting out here soon. I'm gonna be putting a video out soon as about yeah. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so yeah, I got we had trying to collect my thoughts. Somebody just sent me a text. So anyway, there's a lot of distractions. Last year, I was doing my thing, but now, and one of the things I've been searching for, and I'm doing now, is exactly what are the works? How do we put this book into action? And of course, if that's your mindset, Straightway is a place for you, because that's what we're doing, is putting this book into action. And I'm doing this video to ask people that question: what are you doing to put this book into action? Okay, what are you doing? What are your works? What are your fruits? I actually got another video coming out saying the same thing. You know, people are in the fog, man. They've been misled and deceived by a lot of these entertainers out here. They're not Hebrew leaders. They're entertainers and all. At the end of the day, we got to have that footwork. We got to have, what are we doing for the people? Or what's being done for you if you're following a Hebrew leader? And if you've watched Spiritual Combat past couple months, or really the past year, you've seen how Straightway has. Wow, this is a mess out here. Yeah, you will see how Straightway, and truly walking this book out in spirit and truth, you'll see how that has changed my life. You'll see the fruit it's bared in my life and those around me, and how it continues to. It's funny, a lot of these ministries out here, because they deceive people into thinking that they're actually doing the work, when something real happens, like COVID-19, they don't have an answer for it. And mind you, COVID-19 was, as far as I'm concerned, it was a soft warning to prepare, And like I said, a lot of these ministries are out there just saying the same stuff, trying to hyper spiritualize what's going on. And instead of preparing, come out of her, my people, they will spiritualize that into something in your mind or something like that. But like I said in the other video, when you literally apply it and you literally come out of her, you actually bear witness to the fruit of doing that. You actually bear witness to the spiritual growth and the benefit of doing that. You see what I'm saying? So, somebody said, what is her? Come out of her, come out from among them, come out from among these people who don't live a set apart lifestyle. That's the them. Okay? So let's give some hardcore, concrete, irrefutable examples of what I'm talking about. Okay? So one of them, one example is bring your children out of their wicked schools, out of the public school system. Last I checked, and like I said, I'm since I've pulled my children out and I've got away from, got them out of that public school system. But last I checked, man, they were pushing these wicked holidays, of course, that go against Yah's word. They were pushing homosexuality hardcore. Every time you turn around, somebody's going into schools, shooting them up. What else? What else do we see out there? They're indoctrinating your children. When you look at a typical day of a family where the mother works and the father works and the children go to school, when you look at a typical day in the life of a family like that, the parents are probably spending, maybe 2 hours or so of meaningful interaction with the child, and the rest is society influencing them. When you factor in television, their friends at school, what the teachers are telling them, this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. Y'all told us to teach our children, not to have these heathen nations raise our children. It says, raise up a child in the way they should go, and when they get older, they will not depart. So if you let the beast system raise your children, guess what? I'll let y'all fill in the blank. Another thing is my wife, Koi Israel, and coming out from among them. I got her off the job. She is now a chase keeper at home, according to what the book says. Let's go back to our typical American family example. You have a who has not come out from among them literally, and be separate. People, the wife comes home from work, the husband comes home from work, children come home from school, everybody wants to chill a little bit. They can't cook every night. So now what? You're going to her, to the beast system for your food a lot of times. And you say that's why you see fast food on the rise. You see a lot of, fast food, eating out. Most of this food is just terrible. Well, Koi is now a chase keeper at home, and so I get home cooked meals, healthy meals. You're eating healthier. You're not relying on them. Now, the next step is to move away. Get away from these cities, from these urban population centers, all that stuff like that. That's step 2. But that, and when that happens, a lot in the past, people were saying, oh man, why are you moving out in the middle of nowhere away from everybody? But then after COVID, everybody got quiet. It was just silence. You understand that? You can watch a bunch of Pastor Dow's videos. He said, man, after COVID, a lot of naysayers, they got quiet. Like I said, the COVID thing was a warning. You know, that was a drill. You know what I mean? But and you hear a lot of people saying that the real thing's coming. What's going to happen when they implement this vaccine that they know to be bad? You know, how's that going to go down? You know, these are the questions we need to be asking. So just, you know, doing the work, actually preparing, getting your mind right, finding serious-minded believers you can count on. That's a big one. All right. Yep. Somebody said learn more out of school and reading the Bible than in school. Yeah. When you look at the, oh boy, when you look at Common Core and what they're teaching them in school, they're literally the Common Core. Hold on. Nope. So the Common Core is actually it is teaching them to not think. It's just teaching them, like, they do math in some confusing way so you can't learn it. It's weird. It's literally not teaching them to think. It's just teaching them to be direction followers and not to be somebody who could figure things out for themselves. The Common Core teaches them to be basically social robots, you know. When the children really need to be learning about cooking, how to eat healthy, how herbs work. You know what I'm saying? This is the stuff they need to be learning. I could show you plenty of people passing away from disease because they haven't been educated on how to eat and all the poison out there. So that's a whole nother thing. I could go all into that. But we are definitely we need to really revisit what the book is saying and what we're doing, because when like I said, I've been going hard. I've been putting in a lot of work down here in Straightway, Florida, getting things together, coming together with serious-minded saints that want to diligently keep y'all's word. And I really haven't been looking back, or I ain't gonna say looking back, but I really haven't been on social media really seeing what's going on. I kind of check in on social media to see what's going on as far as messages, or if anybody tagged me or is reaching out to me or anything like that. But outside of that, I really don't get to see what's going on. Every now and then when I do get to see what's going on, it's pointless, useless, babbling stuff. Nobody's doing any works. Nobody's putting in any work. Nobody's, and it's like, man, it's sad, man. But I want people to wake up and to really question what are they doing and what is the Bible actually saying, that people can, get themselves where they need to be, truly walk this thing out in spirit and truth. But, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Where it says, come out of her, a lot of us, even some of the people who are slowly seeing this, are going to be pushed into coming out of her. We had a bunch of saints that were in New York when COVID hit, and that's all they needed to see, and they was gone after that. As soon as they got a chance, that whole group moved out of New York and moved out to Tennessee, getting on land, getting away from all this. If you talk to the people who were on Community when COVID hit, it was just entertainment on TV, the whole COVID thing. It really didn't affect them out there in those rural areas. You talk to somebody who was in New York City, and it was scary, you know. I talked to some of the brothers, man. They said, man, they saw how bad it could really get. That's all they needed to see. So, and even when I was at the Feast of Tabernacles, I actually, when we did Ron Dalton's movie release in I think last year or whatever, we did his movie release at a church. And I was telling the brothers then, man, y'all need to get up out of this city. Well, when I was at Feast of Tabernacles last week, I met a brother there who was there in New York. He's met me. I guess he watched Pastor Dow. I guess he learned about Pastor Dow through Ron, all that stuff, and he got up out of there, man. He's one of the ones who's working on getting up out of New York sooner than later. And that's a blessing. And I'm telling you, like, a lot of saints have already come up out of New York. But that is not the place to be, man. It's the place to be. Definitely want to shake and move and come out from among them. I mean, even on a practical level, you just do the numbers. I mean, man, if something really hit New York, a lot of people don't understand. The first thing that would happen would be all the garbage would just pile up within 2 or 3 days. It would just, and then everything would continue going down the drain from there. I mean, people don't get it, man. Like, even when you go to New York or Vegas, some of these cities, man, people don't realize, like, if you haven't been to some of these big cities, man, they stink. They smell. They're smelly. Because there's so much waste going out of there, you know. There's so many people living on top of each other. Everybody goes to the bathroom. Everybody got trash. They throw away rotten food, you know. That's one of the things you'll notice about New York. Like, a lot of areas is just smell like garbage, you know. It's just so many people there. And like I said, in an epidemic, if some type of emergency happened, one of the first things to stop is going to be the trash. And then from there, everything will go down the drain. You know, people don't think like that, you know. Out, away. And why would you want to be around all these wicked people? You got to take that into consideration. Why would you want to be around them all? Why not be around a group of set-apart people who know how to sacrifice? They're selfless, you know. Be in an environment that Yah intended you to be in. He set up for you. He's telling you to consider the ancient ways. You know, their ways don't work. So all this stuff is stuff you got to take into consideration, man. I'm telling you. But I'm saying that because we get into the dead season, which are these winter months, these cold months, when agriculturally nothing grows, and spiritually there's not a lot of, you know, these pagans have all their, you know, wicked holidays in the dead season. So they have all their dead holidays. What happens around Christmas? That's when suicides spike. Suicides are the highest of the year around Christmas. That ought to tell you something. Okay? So during this dead season, though, Are you getting distracted by all these distractions, by all the comments, by all the debates, and let's have a debate on this and talk about that and this, that, and talk, and video. What about the footwork? You know, are you getting your debt paid off? Are are you building with your brothers and sisters? Do you have some like-minded believers that you can have all things in common with? Money, assets, what else? You name it. Property, whatever. Share all things alike and all that. Do you got people like that? Or do you just got some people who shake you down for your money on the weekends that you call Hebrew leaders, that I call Hebrew misleaders? You know what I mean? So it's just, all this stuff, man, it's a lot. You got to, it's a lot to think about, a lot to consider. But you got to consider the sign of time. One of the things I'm going to start doing here is following the news a little closer. I get tired of just all they report is politics. I mean, and speaking of the politics, that's another thing to consider. That election is November, 2nd or 4th? I forget which one. But something you might want to, something I'm prepared for, something I'm getting my brothers down here prepared for, is the fact that if Trump doesn't get in office, there could be civil unrest, serious civil unrest. I could care less who really gets in. Ideally, if Trump gets in office, it's like there's about another 5 years of peace. But I'm telling you, the next Democrat that gets in, he's coming for them weapons, and they get one in office, what they're going to be pushing. That whole gay for lifestyle type stuff. So yeah, man, if one of these Democrats, if they get in office, there's going to be civil unrest. If Trump gets back in office, there still might be civil unrest. I'm sure there's going to be. Because, like I said, Republicans and Democrats, and when I talk about Republican and Democrat, I'm not talking about in the government. I'm talking about the people out here, the voters or whatever, the left and the right. They're like Crips and Bloods out here, man, fighting each other, shooting each other, all that. And but I'm gonna be ready and prepared for whatever pans out. Civil unrest is coming though. Yeah, somebody said they're trying to cut my live. Yeah, I'm probably getting in a kind of a dead area. But anyway, these are things you need to be keeping an eye out for. Don't let people hyper spiritualize you into inactivity. You can't find that in the book unless you severely twist and hyper spiritualize and manipulate the text of the book. The book is straightforward, and it requires you to grow spiritually, and it requires you literal footwork also. So spiritual footwork and literal footwork. And like I said, let's go back again, bearing fruit. A lot of these ministries, you see neither. You see people struggling with the same spiritual problems. You see people struggling with the same literal problems. Sad state of affairs. Anyway, y'all, I just want to put that out there, man. Question this thing. If you're interested in Straightway and you want to find a Straightway in your area, call that number that's in the video description. And you you will find it. And if it's not in this video description, this video I'm doing right here, just look at one of my other ones. It's on there. Call that number, which is the dining hall at Straightway headquarters. Leave them a message and somebody will get back to you. I'm Michael Israel, head of Straightway Florida, host on Spiritual Combat, and I appreciate y'all tuning in. Shalom, shalom.